They behave in a hostile manner. They cause destruction, and they are growing at a rate that exceeds our ability to regulate them. Wild boars, which were previously considered a symbol of valor among warriors, have, in recent years, emerged as one of the most significant dangers to agriculture and animals all over the world. What strategies do farmers and governments employ in order to deal with millions of animals that cannot be stopped? To put it simply, the response is significantly more dramatic and costly than you could possibly anticipate. We are going to go into the wild, deadly, and contentious realm of wild boar control today. Ranging from the use of spears in ancient times to the use of helicopters in modern times, boar-sniffing dogs, and even drones designed for military use. Hold on tight. Previously confined to the forests of Europe and certain regions of Asia, wild boars have now become a problem on a global scale. In the United States alone, the population has skyrocketed to over 6 million, and it has spread over 39 states. It has also been responsible for the destruction of crops and cattle, and it has even caused over $2.5 billion and 0 cents in annual damage. They have even been known to attack humans in certain locations. Take into consideration the fact that a pig that can weigh up to 400 pounds is barreling straight at you at a speed of 25 miles per hour. The fact that these creatures have won a place on the list of the 100 most harmful invasive species on the planet is not something that should come as a surprise. What exactly are we going to do about it? There was a time when hunting wild boars was considered a rite of passage and a test of bravery. In ancient Rome, warriors would confront them with spears, while in Persia, monarchs would use elephants to drive them out of the area through the bush. Certainly, elephants. The modern world, on the other hand, places a higher value on efficiency than it does on daring. Not for the purpose of glory, but rather to safeguard farms, ecosystems, and rural economies. Licensed hunters are now sent out throughout the world. What is the preferred weapon? Weapons with a high power rating that are equipped with thermal sights and night vision. These deer hunters are not your typical ones. Many of them have been taught to strike moving targets at a distance of 600 yards, which is equivalent to 6 football fields. The vast majority of boar hunts take place during the nighttime hours. In addition to being intelligent and evasive, wild boars are also nocturnal, which is the time of day when they are at their most vulnerable. Once an animal is located, hunters use heat-detecting optics to search through fields and forests. Once it is located, it is all about timing and precision. With just one missing shot, the boar disappears into the darkness behind the trees. What's more, these pursuits aren't merely pastimes for the weekends. Several states, including Texas, have developed a full-fledged economy based on the hunting of wild boar. Clients who partake in professional excursions are given the opportunity to hunt these monsters from blinds that have been specifically created for the purpose, complete with gun rests, ammunition kits, and expert coaching. It is possible for certain boars to weigh more than 880 pounds, which is more than a fully grown cow. Would you like to hunt hogs as if it were a video game? Both a thrill, seeker's dream, and an ecological need, hog hunting from a helicopter has become more popular in the state of Texas. There are hunters who fly low over contaminated areas in adapted helicopters armed with AR-15. The cost of each flight is approximately $4,000.00. Despite the fact that it is cinematic and effective, it is also controversial. Hunting with helicopters, according to some critics, can put other species of wildlife under stress, disrupt ecosystems, and even put public safety in danger. Nevertheless, this continues to be one of the more effective methods for reducing the number of boars on expansive ranches that are overwhelmed with them. Certain hunters continue to employ a method that is both hands-on and teeth-on. In the most primitive kind of hunting that is being practiced today, they track, corner, and capture wild boars with the assistance of dogs who have been specifically trained. Catahoula's and black-mouthed curs are examples of bay dogs that are able to locate and pursue boars. After that, hedge dogs, who are typically pit bulls or American bulldogs, come in to physically hold the animal down until the hunter arrives with a knife. Hunting is a cruel and dangerous activity, that needs a great deal of trust between the hunter and the animal being hunted. If the hunter or the dog makes a single mistake, they run the risk of being gored. Boars are not always pursued by hunters using firearms or dogs. Some people are patient. In the long run, trapping is a strategy that is particularly helpful for farmers who are attempting to reduce the number of boars in a calm manner without disturbing the land. Feeding cage traps with maize and keeping an eye on them using remote cameras is a common practice. When a sufficient number of boars enter, the door will drop. The use of snare traps is more strategic. For the purpose of tightening ropes around a boar's leg or neck, they make use of pressure triggers. To what end? Instead of capturing individuals, you should gather entire families or groups of sounders, mostly due to the fact that wild boars will return to you if you do not capture all of them. Afterwards, there is the method of the bow hunter. Slow, precise, and completely silent. Hunters aim their compound bows or crossbows at important organs such as the heart or lungs in order to gain an advantage. This is where the difficulty lies. The layers of wild boars are thick and fat, and they function nearly like armor. It's possible that even a well-aimed arrow won't immediately bring them down. Illuminated NOCs, which are little lights attached to the points of arrows, are now being used by hunters to assist in the tracking of wounded boars. These lights make it simpler to find the path, even when it is dark outside. There are no numbers involved with bow hunting. Mastery is the goal here. It should come as no surprise that wild boar control has transitioned to digital in this age of high technology. Drones are being used to scan terrain, detect herds, and even assist ground teams in their navigation. The sound of certain drone speakers can either attract boars to the drone's traps or drive them toward the traps themselves. In the aftermath of the hunt, others assist in locating carcasses for the purposes of disease tracking and cleanup. However, which approach is the most contentious? Baits containing poison, more precisely sodium nitrite, which is a toxin that causes death in around 3 hours. Specialized feeder systems have been developed in recent years to address the growing concerns surrounding the control of wild boar populations. These devices are carefully designed to restrict access solely to adult pigs, thereby reducing the risk of accidental poisoning to non-target wildlife species or vulnerable piglets. The bait stations are fitted with weighted lids or access gates calibrated to the strength of adult boars, ensuring that only animals of a certain size can feed. This targeted approach helps mitigate some of the ethical dilemmas posed by using toxins in the environment. However, despite the intended precision of these systems, the debate around their use remains fierce. Ethical concerns center on the potential suffering caused by poisoning, while environmentalists raise alarms about long-term ecological damage. Even trace amounts of certain poisons can find their way into the food chain, harming scavengers, birds of prey, and other unintended species. While these methods can reduce numbers in the short term, they do not offer a sustainable or universally accepted solution. And even with the arsenal of modern tools at humanity's disposal, including firearms, trained dogs, aerial surveillance via drones, and even helicopter-mounted sharpshooters, the tide has not turned. In many regions, the population of wild boars continues to rise. Why is this happening? The answer lies in the astonishing biological resilience and adaptability of the wild boar. These animals are survivors in the truest sense. Their diet is omnivorous and indiscriminate. They will eat roots, crops, small animals, carrion, and even garbage, allowing them to thrive in diverse environments, from deep forests to suburban backyards. But perhaps their most alarming trait is their explosive reproductive potential. Female boars can become sexually mature as early as 6 months of age and are capable of producing litters of up to 12 piglets multiple times per year. Under favorable conditions, a single sow can contribute dozens of offspring to the population annually. This means that to merely stabilize wild boar numbers, not even reduce them, wildlife managers estimate that at least 70% of the population must be removed every single year. Falling short of this figure means populations will continue to expand, outpacing any attempts at control. And with few natural predators remaining in many parts of the world, the task falls squarely on human shoulders. Therefore, the struggle is no longer just about hunting. It has evolved into a complex, multifaceted campaign one that involves biological research, technological innovation, community coordination, and constant vigilance. This isn't merely a countryside issue or a fleeting ecological nuisance. It's a full-scale wildlife management challenge unfolding in real time, impacting agriculture, biodiversity, and even public safety. So, the next time you scroll past a clip of a wild boar charging through a field or foraging near a rural road, pause and reconsider. You're not just watching a pig run. You're witnessing a frontline soldier in what has become one of the most intense and ongoing human-wildlife conflicts of the modern age. A living emblem of the intersection between nature's adaptability and mankind's struggle to coexist. If you found this movie to be enlightening, please give it a thumbs up and distribute it to someone who continues to believe that pigs are nothing more than farm animals. In addition, don't forget to subscribe for additional stories that have not been told before from the wild, mostly due to the fact that the true battle for the environment is still going on out here, in the fields and forests.